These agencies can be held accountable, and they should be held accountable.
They just cannot be brazenly violating people's Fourth and Fifth Amendments, the rights of citizens and non-citizens alike.
Bakersfield is my community. It's where I grew up.
I'm a proud daughter of immigrants, and I think a lot of folks who live in this area can say the same. The Central Valley is such a rich and diverse part of California.
The agricultural heart of California and the breadbasket of the country.
And so when there's an attack on our immigrant community, on our farm working community, is an issue that hits directly.
On January 7th, I remember seeing these really disturbing images of Border Patrol vehicles on Highway 99. I haven't seen that happen ever.
This operation was in fact something that we had not seen before. A lot of more aggression, more violence.
Egregious things were happening to people, like their tires were being slashed and their car windows were being smashed. 2 of our clients were deceived and coerced into voluntary departure, which is expulsion from the country without the due process of an immigration proceeding. This was an extraordinarily unusual operation.
Bakersfield and Kern County is about 300 miles away from the border, and usually we don't see Border Patrol conducting operations here.
This was a coordinated operation where Border Patrol had gone into the interior and just done a sweep, a series of raids of people who largely had lived in the community for years and years. We heard of US citizens who were stopped. One of our clients is a lawful permanent resident who's had a green card for over 30 years, who was pulled over, cursed at, and thrown to the ground by a Border Patrol officer. That is not something the Constitution allows. That is not immigration enforcement. That is lawless excess of authority from federal agents.
Later we learned that this operation was in fact not approved. They thought, again, that they could get away with an operation like this, but little did they know that the community was ready to challenge the lives that they were going to put out there.
We immediately connected with the Kern County Rapid Response Network.
The goal of the Rapid Response Network was how can we mobilize our own neighbors to respond and to protect each other. So volunteers will respond to document what was happening, who was on the ground, who was conducting this operation, and who were they targeting.
A lot of people shared their testimony with us, and that's how we learned like these damning facts about how Border Patrol violated their rights.
Border Patrol had said that they had a target list and that this was an operation where they were going after people who had committed serious crimes. The data shows that that's just not true.
They just stopped anyone, basically, who was brown and who looked like a farm worker.
It's completely illegal to pull someone over based solely on the color of their skin. And that's what we saw in this raid. We're moving as fast as we can to drive this case forward. And what we're doing in the litigation and what we hope will help communities across the country is holding immigration agents to the Constitution and to the law. So we moved for a preliminary injunction, asking the court to intervene on an emergency basis to stop the irreparable harm to the community that would come from more raids using these unlawful tactics.
We're just so glad, that a judge recognized that this is such a huge win for immigrants' rights, for humanity, for the dignity of Central Valley residents.
It's really important to remember that we have power and we have voice, and that when we organize and mobilize, we can have victories like what we saw in this case.
This case could not have been possible without the brave individuals who stepped forward and who shared their stories. I am in awe of them and just forever grateful. Without them stepping forward and sharing what happened to them, we couldn't have brought this case forward. They knew that they didn't want this to happen ever again to anyone else. I heard that countless times from our plaintiffs, I don't want this to happen to anyone else.
It's really important that we stand in community with one another, that we defend our most vulnerable community members. This operation targeted immigrant workers, day laborers, people who build this nation, farm workers who put food on our table.
These are human beings who, just like any other person, wants to live a safe and healthy and thriving life. They have family here. They have established their roots here. People from your community are just being abducted from the streets and their rights are being violated. That should be concerning for you. Just because it's not happening to you doesn't mean like it's not of concern to you.
When we're taking on a powerful agency like Border Patrol, lawyers cannot do this work alone. This is community work.
Community has power, and it's really important to exercise that power, that voice. We all are deserving of dignity, of respect. We all have constitutional rights.
As this administration ramps up its mass deportation agenda, we all have a role to play protecting our communities and standing up for our rights. You can volunteer with your rapid response hotline or just know the number and call it.
This is also a great opportunity to join Know Your Rights trainings. Be aware and be informed of what your rights are. The more folks that we have in our community aware of what their rights are, the better protected we are as a community.
What is happening is a complete disregard for our Constitution, a complete disregard for democracy.
That's why this case is important. It protects everyone in the Central Valley and beyond.
Because regardless of the color of our skin, we all have rights under the U.S. Constitution. And when those rights are violated, we can hold those actors accountable.
The Constitution applies, whatever your immigration status is. The Fourth Amendment protects you from unlawful searches and seizures. The law prohibits immigration agents from doing indiscriminate raids, and due process protects all of us.